Well, hi, and welcome to Glitch 2600. Who am I? Well, I'm Brian, aka Glitch, your friendly host through all things geekery. And what's geekery? Well, computers, photography, you know, computer security. If it's got electronics or if it's run by a geek, I could probably answer the questions for you. And why are you here? Well, hopefully you're here for a Glitch Byte as part of Vlogmas 2020. If you're curious what Vlogmas 2020 is, go back. You're in probably checking our stuff out right now. You can go into our playlist and see day one where we go into more detail, but basically it's just a good way for us content creators to go live or post out content every day in December. I'm deciding to go live every day and finally launch my Glitch Bytes, which are bite-sized tips that you can normally ingest in under 10 minutes. So let's just get into it. What are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about making disk images with Super Duper. Now, that's on a Mac. There are the same types of things for PCs. You'll see lots of different backup softwares like Acronis. There's built-in Microsoft ones. But on the Mac side, there's Super Duper, there's Carbon Cloner, but I'm just going to show you Super Duper because there's a free version and then there's the paid. The free version lets you do a lot of stuff. You just get some extra features with the paid, and we'll talk about that. So without further ado, let's just switch on over and take a look at Super Duper. So we're going to show you the screen here and pop it up. And here's our Super Duper here. So you'll see under the menu, if I brought that up, there's not a whole lot. There's new, scripts and settings, which here, let's pop up so you can actually see me. Well, let's fade me in, fade me out. So if I look under this menu here, you'll see there's not a whole lot in there because it doesn't need a whole lot. So there's new scripts, open scripts, you can load settings, you can make your own scripts there, preferences, check for an update, and register. But once you come in here, it's pretty simple. From a duplication point of view, it's copy here to here, and then using what type. So normally you're going to do a disk image or you're going to do a disk to a disk. It's not really made to do file to file. There's another type or folder to folder. There's another piece of software I use for synchronization that we'll cover in a later Glitch Byte called ChronoSync. But this is a good way for me to do a data verified copy of everything I have on a hard drive or to an image for backup using another tool, which I'll talk about in another Glitch Byte that I use for my backup to the cloud. But this way I can take that whole image of my hard drive if I want, of my laptop, package it up into a hard drive image, and then let that get backed up by that other service. Or I can use it to clone when I get a new hard drive and I want to make sure everything from one hard drive is on the next. This is a really good piece of software to do it. Additionally, if you use something like VMware Fusion, like I do, to be able to run Mac, a mini Mac inside of the Mac, or Windows on there, this allows me to do a lot of different stuff from that. So basically, you pick what you want to copy from. In this case, I'm going to say from my Passport external 3 terabyte to my new Archive 8 terabyte, and then what script do I want it to do? So when you look under here, there's backup where it can back up just the user files, backup where it's all files, restore all files, or sandbox. And the nice thing about it is when you go in there, let's just click on one. So where you see backup user files, it tells you pressing copy will use backup to copy. So using a smart update, only the user's folder will be copied to archive. All other directories will not be copied. So it's a good way to back up your user directory where you normally keep all your files and folders. I like to do the full one, and then we'll talk about what smart update is, and then you can uncheck that. Now, if you don't have the paid version, all you really have is backup all files and restore all files because you don't get the smart update feature. When you pay for that and get the smart update, then you get a little bit more. So if I come in here, like I said, when you click on the lock, that's so you don't get prompted for every single thing that would be normally locked by an administrator. So when you click that, it'll just run and you can let it go for 7-8 hours and come back and it'd be all done depending on how much. You can even schedule it. So if you have a nightly or overnight, different parts. If you're doing multiple terabytes, it could take hours to external depending on the speed of the drive. If you're going to just pack up your user directory, it'll go quite a bit faster, especially with this next feature. So if I click into options, I have the option to do Smart Update Archive. And that means instead, you'll see where it can erase, so it'll completely wipe out the drive and copy everything over. Or I can have it do a Smart Update where it looks for changes. It emulates the same settings as the erase and copy feature, but now it just looks for only changed files. So it goes all the way through and just mirrors that up. So it goes significantly faster, and that's worth paying for it, in my opinion. Otherwise, you have the other options of only copy newer files, only copy different files. Again, I like the Smart Update, so it keeps everything in sync. Now, you could tell it to repair your disk permissions, at that point, or unsuccessful. You can have it run another script, shut down your computer, quit Super Duper, and then you can jump in under advanced, and you can run other shell scripts. So if you're more advanced, you can tell it to go kick off a few other things. You can tell it to copy ACLs, create another disk image of the archive on top of it. So you could say, copy the files and make a disk image. You can have it install files after. So if you know when you copy the 2 disks that you need to run the VMware tools, you can have it install the VMware tools. In fact, I might need to do that to repair one I'm working on tonight. So that just kind of shows you how you can do that. Now you can also say, go to a disk image. And when you tell it to go to a disk image, it will ask you where, when, how, and the type. Do you want a read-write sparse image or a sparse bundle? For most newer stuff, you want a sparse bundle. If you want to make a read-only disk image, so if you were an IT guy saying, hey, you can run off of this, but you can't write to it, you could create that type of disk image. But otherwise, sparse bundles are the more efficient, newer version, of the image set from Apple. So that's where you can choose that and have it go. If I were to pop up one of mine, you can kind of see I've done this already. So I ran this the other day and said, run a copy of my passport to my archive. The archive was a brand new blank hard drive. Now it took 11 hours because this is multiple terabytes. It's 1.21 terabytes, and there's a lot of files in there, a lot of images in this DigiPix from my photography side where it breaks it down. Actually, it's in the photography one. But when I had it copied to archive, you'll see it's the exact same layout. It looks 100% the same because the files were copied and it was verified. Additionally, you can see in the past where I said, hey, my Mac Pro was having some trouble, so I told it to back up my entire Mac Pro main hard drive into a sparse bundle hard drive image, so I could bring that in as a virtual. When I got my new MacBook Pro, I took my old MacBook Pro and I put the date on there and backed it up also. So even though I used the Apple's copy feature, I had a copy of the old hard drive, so I didn't feel so bad when I wiped it out, for sale or for use with the kids, etc. So that just shows you some of the power of what you can do with Super Duper. Like I said, Carbon Cloner is another one that does it. Carbon Copy, there's a million of them out there, but this is the one I use. Like I said, for free, you get the restore all and backup all, and I think you can get the backup user. But anytime it needs the Smart Update and a few other things are what you get with the paid version, which I think costs about 20 bucks. Might be up a little bit more now, between 20 and 30, unless you catch it on sale. But I bought this years ago. I still keep getting the updates for free. It's more than paid for itself, going between hard drives and having that peace of mind that nothing's gone. Now, in a later one, we'll talk about what I do, why I go to an external hard drive, and a service I use to back up my entire external hard drives so I can take all of my laptops or all of my machines back up using Super Duper and another program called ChronoSync to one set of external hard drives, and then it's backed up to the cloud. So I'll show you that setup and the service I use there, and so that when you follow these days together, I'll reference them and you can kind of put together your own total backup solution for your house, where if something happened, heaven forbid, you would have the capability to bring back your files and not feel like it's lost. I don't want you losing sleep at night wondering, am I going to lose all my pictures? Am I going to lose this important thing, this important work document? I don't want that for you. So we're going to cover some of that. What better time than going into the Christmas time and the New Year to get everything in line from a backup and fresh point of view, so you can start the whole year knowing you've got a good clean backup and solution and you don't have to worry about it. So that's been a Glitch Byte. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did, please, please, please come out here and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow the link down below. And then if you want to, if you're watching this on your computer, you can hover over that with your smartphone, switch on the camera, and then hover over it, and it'll say, hey, do you want to go to that page? And you'll say, yes, I frickin' do. And then you'll click the little subscribe and the bell to be notified when we have our next live. We do have a fun happy hour happening tomorrow, along with another, Glitch Byte. But also, you can feel free to come and check us out on Facebook if you're not already there. Also, we'd love to have you at the other one. You can catch one of our Geek Out live Q&As. We'll have one of those coming up this week too. So thank you again for stopping out. I hope you guys enjoyed the tips. We'll have another one tomorrow.